All right, imagine this for a second. You're at home, just kicking back on the couch, and then you hear a knock on the door. You open it up, and standing there are two detectives. They're polite, they might even crack a smile, but then they say 7 little words that could literally change the rest of your life.
Now, according to a lot of legal experts, those might just be the 7 most dangerous words in the English language. So why? Because agreeing to just talk can be one of the absolute biggest mistakes you can possibly make. And in this explainer, we are going to break down exactly what you need to say instead.
So the first thing you have to get, and this is crucial, is that when an officer says they just want to talk, it is not a casual conversation. Not at all. It's actually a trained interrogation technique. It's specifically designed to get you to lower your guard, to make you feel like you're just, a helpful citizen and not a potential suspect.
There is this huge, dangerous gap between what you hear and what is actually happening. You hear an invitation for a friendly chat, right? A chance to be a good citizen and help out. But what it really is, it's an informal interrogation where you are absolutely a person of interest. The second you start talking, you can never, ever take those words back. And you have to remember this key point. 2 detectives do not just show up at your doorstep because they have nothing better to do. They are actively building a case, and for whatever reason, they believe you know something. If they don't have enough solid evidence to get a warrant, well, your words can become the very evidence they need. You could be that missing piece of their puzzle.
Okay, so here's where the game gets really, really tricky, and it's something that honestly is shocking to a lot of people. Police officers are legally, let me say that again, legally allowed to lie to you during an investigation to get the information they're looking for.
Yup, that's right. The Supreme Court gave this the green light in a ruling called Fraser v. Cupp. So what does that mean? It means they can tell you they have evidence that doesn't even exist. They can claim your friend already confessed and is pointing the finger at you. They can say pretty much anything to pressure you into talking, and they can do it with a perfectly straight face. And all of this builds up to a very, very risk, even if you are 100% innocent. The consequences of what seems like a harmless little chat can be just absolutely devastating.
Just look at this number. It's pretty staggering. According to research from the Innocence Project, and these are the folks who work to get wrongfully convicted people out of prison, nearly 1/3 of all wrongful convictions involved a false confession.
Now let that sink in for a minute. The vast majority of those false confessions didn't start under some bright light in a tiny interrogation room. No. They started with the friendly knock on the door and that phrase, "Hey, we just want to talk." You get innocent people who think, "Hey, I can clear this up," and then they end up having their words twisted. A nervous pause? They see that as you being deceptive. You misremember a small detail? Well, that's proof of your guilt.
And here is another huge misunderstanding that trips people up. Everyone thinks the police have to read you your rights, right? Like on TV? Well, that only applies when you are in what's legally called custody. That friendly chat on your own front porch, you're not in custody. And that means they don't have to Mirandize you, and every single word you say can and absolutely will be used against you.
So, what do you do? Well, the answer isn't to be rude. It's not to slam the door in their face. The answer is actually found in your constitutional rights, which act like a powerful shield, but only if you know how to use them. The whole foundation of your protection comes down to 2 key amendments. First, you got the 5th, which gives you the right to remain silent. And then there's the 6th, which gives you the right to an attorney. And these rights aren't just for when you've been arrested. They protect you at all times.
Okay, so this brings us to the million-dollar question. You have these rights, great, but how do you actually use them in that high-pressure moment? What is the exact script you need to have locked and loaded, ready to go?
Here it is. This is it. This simple 2-sentence phrase is designed to be polite, totally firm, and legally airtight. It clearly invokes your rights, and it forces the officers to define the entire situation.
You need to memorize these words, burn them into your brain. I don't answer questions without my attorney present. Am I being detained or am I free to go? That is it. That is all you ever need to say. Now, let's break down exactly why this is so effective.
Okay, so every single part of this phrase is doing some heavy lifting. The first part, I don't answer questions, boom, that clearly invokes your 5th Amendment right. Adding, without my attorney present, invokes your 6th Amendment right, which legally requires them to stop all questioning. And finally, am I being detained or am I free to go? Oh, that is the golden question. It forces them to make a choice. Either they say you're free to go, at which point you politely close the door, or they have to say that you are being detained, which they then have to legally justify.
Now, let's be realistic. You can pretty much guarantee they are going to push back. They're trained to overcome objections, right? They're not going to want to take no for an answer. So you need a backup phrase ready to go. You're going to hear something like this. It's a classic tactic. It's designed to make you feel guilty for just, using your rights. They might also say something like, "This is your only chance to cooperate. Don't fall for it." Your response should be simple and direct.
That's your backup line. I'm exercising my constitutional rights. You just repeat this as much as you need to. It's polite, it's 100% true, and it is not evidence of anything.
And here is why that phrase is so powerful. The Supreme Court has been crystal clear on this point. Your decision to stay silent or ask for a lawyer can never be used against you in court as evidence that you're guilty. So by stating you're exercising your rights, you are standing on solid legal ground.
So, just remember, knowing your rights is one thing, but knowing the exact words to use them, well, that's everything. It can be the difference between a conversation that ruins your life and one where you politely and firmly protect yourself. The only question left is, will you be prepared?
We really hope this explainer gave you some clarity. If you found it helpful, do us a favor and hit that like button, subscribe for more explainers just like this one, and let us know what you think down in the comments. Thanks for watching.